think maybe this past weekend is a nice, I don't know, kick in the pants going into the ACC tournament, wake guys up a little bit maybe?
Well, it was a tough weekend down at Wake. Obviously, how we lost game one was very difficult. Nick Howard's done the job all year long, and we learned that nobody's perfect. And but I was really proud of our club that we battled back and won game two. And obviously, losing the series isn't something that we want to do, but we proved that. We're human and we're like other teams out there, and that it comes down to the little details of execution and really performing in the clutch is what makes the difference in whether you win or lose. And maybe in some way that's a good reminder to us. And now that we've completed the regular season, we had a terrific regular season. I mean, to have the fourth best winning percentage in the country is pretty special. I also think that it's very rare in college baseball to have a team that goes through the regular season and never loses a back-to-back game. We didn't lose back-to-back games all year long, and so that shows this team's resiliency and their ability to bounce back. So, I'm proud of what we've done in the regular season, and now that starts that new chapter. We get into the conference tournament with the chance to win the ACC championship and then move on to the NCAA tournament.
You've kind of had a day now. Now you know when you're playing, the matchups, all that.
Right.
What do you think of the road ahead these next few days?
Well, it's a challenging road. We have a few days off here, so we'll do a little scrimmaging today and also tomorrow, and then head down to Greensboro on Tuesday afternoon, and not playing until that Thursday morning. We've been in that game before, and that's fine. And I'm excited to play an opponent in Maryland that is having a great year. They've got outstanding pitching, and we haven't had a chance to play them this year. So it's a challenging tournament. You think about the 10 teams that qualified for this tournament. It's a pretty special tournament, and it takes a lot to win this thing, and we're looking forward to what we have in front of us.
How nice is it? We talked a little bit about this last week, but given the pitching that you've had all year long,
right,
how nice is it to have that at your disposal going into a series like the way this format?
Well, our pitching's been really consistent for us all year long, and when you talk about a team's ability to bounce back and never have back-to-back losses, well, that happens because you got outstanding starting pitching. You lose a ball game, and then you can run Artie Lewicki out there like we did in game two, or Josh Spores or Brandon Waddell, whoever it is. So we're very, very fortunate to have great starting pitching and a terrific bullpen, and that's so important when it comes to a tournament. To win an ACC tournament, not only do you have to be clutch and pound in runs when you get a chance, but you got to have great pitching depth, and we certainly have that.
On that note, I'm just curious, you decided on a rotation for the weekend yet?
We haven't decided. We're still looking at what the right thing to do is. The great thing is we have a lot of options. We have an advantage, quite frankly, I think, with not starting until Thursday. Everything's wide open versus if you start on the tournament on Wednesday, you're bringing somebody back on short rest, or maybe somebody that didn't start last weekend. So, Coach Kuhn and I will continue to look at that over the next 24, 48 hours and decide what we need to do.
2009 and 11, you lost your last regular season series.
Oh, really?
And then went to the ACC.
Wow.
Went to Omaha.
Fun fact.
I like your thinking.
Well, I'm just saying, did you remembered any of that? Did you take anything from that?
Well, I don't take anything from it because obviously I didn't even know it, but it's an interesting fact. And you've seen teams before. Florida State has had teams that has went 0-3 in the ACC tournament and went on to Omaha. So I don't really put too much stock in it. The fact that we didn't win our last series, it is what it is, and I think it's a good reminder to us. And past that, I don't think it matters a whole lot. I think every week's in a new week. These players have short memories. They have a lot shorter memories than you or I do, and so they'll be concentrated on Maryland on Thursday and giving us the best chance to try to win an ACC championship.
In Maryland, they got a pretty good staff. Obviously,
yeah.
Stinnett and some other guys on that
right.
staff. What can you expect from them on Thursday?
Well, I tell you, we can expect a team, I think, that is very similar to us. They're outstanding on the mound. They've got very, very good starting pitching. They got some good guys in the bullpen. It looks like they, do what we do from an offensive standpoint. And so, Maryland's in a position, this is their last year in the league. I'm sure they want to go out of the league with a bang, and they've had a fantastic year. And so so certainly we'll have our hands full on Thursday, and it's going to take a great effort.
Just like every other Virginia coach has gotten this question this year, the last time with Maryland, you see him in the future playing him?
You know, I don't know. Not in the immediate future, no. You know, the Maryland coach and I are very good friends. We've been good friends for a long time, and so you know, we'll see what happens. But as of right now, they're not on the schedule moving forward in the next 2 years.
All ACC stuff we announced later today. Obviously nothing known yet, but obviously Kirby's got to be a guy that's going to be up there, certainly for potential pitcher of the year contention. You just talk about him, talk about his improvement from since last year to this. I mean, it's been pretty impressive.
Well, Nathan Kirby's in the conversation for the conference pitcher of the year because he's earned it. You know, he's been as consistent as you can be all year long for a Friday night starter. And, you know, we've talked before about Kirby's transformation from last year to this year. He's just so much more mature, more confident. He's got a lot of poise, and certainly he has a ton of ability. So his teammates have a lot of confidence in him moving forward, and you know, I hope he earns that because he's certainly worthy of it.
Mike, coming back, last year he took the ACC batting title. This year he's leader in home run and RBIs.
Yeah.
What improvements did you see from him? I mean, it's tough to top what he did last season.
Yeah.
What changed with him this year?
Well, I think Mike Pappy's been really consistent all year, and that's been very good to see. You know, certainly the 10 home runs is impressive. You know, last year, if you recall, he wasn't really in the lineup much in the beginning part of the year and kind of earned his way in there. But he's done a nice job. You know, he's bounced between hitting the middle of the order for us and also leading off. I'm sure there's a lot of teams that would like to have a leadoff hitter that's got 10 home runs and leading them in RBIs, you know, and, you know, he's got a chance to impact the game right off the bat for us. And, you know, I think that he's having a really mature approach, and he's really grown throughout this year.
Coach, can I just ask you about Artie real quick?
Yeah.
When a guy has surgery like that, you don't know how he's going to perform when he comes back. But clearly, he's been solid, and evidenced by his little promotion that he got in the last week or so.
Well, Artie Lewicki's been tremendous. You know, Artie Lewicki has a lot of pride. He's worked very hard to come back from his Tommy John surgery that he had almost 2 years ago. And what happens in more cases than not with that Tommy John surgery is the second year they're a lot stronger, and he's showing that. He's got tremendous velocity. But the most impressive thing about Artie for me is his command is really good. And, you know, he's going out there, I think, with something to prove, and he'll get that opportunity again in this tournament.
Nick's a pretty resilient kid. Obviously, a couple of tough days for Friday and Saturday with the strikeout. How do you expect him to bounce back?
Oh, I think Nick Howard will be fine. You know, Nick Howard's that guy's a warrior. You know, he's somebody that's had a chance to play on both sides. He's played in the field. He's been in that batter's box. He's been on the mound on every role that you can have. You know, I'm not concerned about Nick at all. You know, I think his stuff right now looks as good as it has all year, and so, you know, he'll be called upon again when that opportunity presents itself, and I know he'll do the job.
Robbie Coleman a little bit. He gives you a chance to platoon catchers, which keeps those guys fresher, I assume.
Well, I tell you, in our 11 years here as the coaches at Virginia, we're in our best catching position that we've ever been in, quite frankly. In most years, we've had one mainstay catcher that's caught about 95% of our innings, and we've been very fortunate this year to have two high-quality guys. And, you know, Robbie Coleman's done a tremendous job. You know, he started 2 out of 3 games this last weekend. He got some big hits for us in Game 2 and Game 3 down at Wake, and Robbie would have played a lot more last year had he not gotten hurt. So, you know, I feel the same about him as I do Nate Irving. They're both high character people that are really solid backstops behind there and handle the pitchers really, really well.
What was your reaction when they came to you last year when he had the freak accident?
Oh, you know, I just, I felt for Robbie Coleman when he got hurt last year. It's one of those freak things that happens. It happened in the batting cage. He's warming up to go in and catch and gets hit with a ball. And you know, I just felt bad for him because I know what he's made of and I know how much he could help us. And, you know, it delayed his development last year, but he's certainly showing this year what he's capable of doing.